Someone who is a very definite person, who is outspoken, someone who is audacious in their outlook. Ask the person to draw a straight line. You see the line straight, firm, unshaken, and very, very correct. You could actually pick a ruler and it will give you a perfect straight line.
Wow.
But someone who is timid, someone who is fearful, someone who is passing through some things, the lines will never be straight. You have schismatic kind of lines. You have some form of lines that are zigzag in nature. It simply means that there's something that is disturbing this person. There's something that this person is passing through. God started with creativity. Everybody has some creative instinct placed in them by God. God himself had to look for a Bezalel. God had to look for Oholiab. People that he could say, this is your special skills. This is what you are cut out to do. They are ministers in their own rights to build the tabernacle. And that is actually the sweetest and the best of creativity from Bible days. There are some people that their destiny path is through a creative thought that is placed in the inside of them. The place of the artist is to mirror the society. Every artist that is truly an artist express the society the true way it is. Just to tell the story. Nothing can take the artist from that. When Pablo Picasso created the painting Guernica about the devastation of war, how his town was overrun by war and merchants of war, the pains, the gory sight, the killing of children, the ripping of the stomachs of women and babies and other things, very gory, very painful, the shattering of buildings, the sounds of bombs, bullet shells everywhere, and all of such pains. He created this image as his memory of the war and the period of that war. When they wanted to declare war against Iraq, they had to veil that painting because the memory is so strong.
Yeah.
And the visuals are so strong. Today, that work is currently in the UN, United Nations.
What do you think happens when someone suppresses creativity for too long?
When you keep suppressing your creativity, you implode. You just burst inwards.
Yeah.
And it might not be recoverable sometimes because you just kept it in there. However, I feel that you wake up every morning, you think of what you're going to put on, the kind of shoe to match. That's creativity.
Yeah.
How you drink your water is also a creative way. My initial landscapes, for instance, I created it on purpose. A bulk of my landscapes were painted without the human figure. And people asked, why are there no human figures in this landscape? And I'll tell them, be the figure in the landscape.
Dr. Onoja, there's someone out there who is watching right now who is finding it difficult to express themselves in art form. What can you say to that person? So our guest today is an artist who has done lots of paintings and artworks. To celebrate his 50th birthday, he published a book called 50 Musings. This contains some of his best artworks over the years, and you can pick it up and other artworks of his through a link in the comment section. So if you're watching for the first time or you've been watching and have not subscribed, I want to invite you to subscribe to the Yellow Mic podcast. This will help us to grow bigger and serve you more. Thank you very much. Dr. Jacob Onoja, you're welcome to the Yellow Mic.
Thank you very much.
Yes. You're also an associate professor of art.
Yes, I am.
How did you become an artist? When did you discover that you are an artist? Walk me through that journey.
Wow, it's been a long journey. As early as age 9, 10, of course, when I'm coming to realization, yes, this is who I really am as a person. I just discovered that I loved scribbling all around.
Yeah.
Every available paper is for scribbling, is for expression. And then, of course, growing up as a child, there's this thing, you just look up to the sky, see the plane flying through. And then, of course, the joy of seeing the cumulus-like clouds formed afterwards, the fumes.
Yeah.
And then we'll now say, hey, can you see the tortoise flying across in the sky? And I could almost form different forms in the skyline just looking at it. So from very early, my visual perception was very strong.
Yeah.
And it picked up very early. And just viewing movies with my other siblings and other people, I probably will be seeing other imageries that they aren't seeing. And I just knew from the onset that I'm cut out for this. And I remember my dad always say this, that there's something about you. And through what you are doing, you go very far in life. Of blessed memory now, but anytime I think of such words, it spurs something in me that, yes, this thing started from childhood days.
Yeah.
And it's still growing. I'm still learning. I feel like a child every time I create. And that's the joy of it, remaining a child in the creative sphere of influence, because there you explore exactly the way it is without thinking back. So that's been my journey so far.
Have you ever faced any resistance with your career choice? Maybe with your family members? But you mentioned your dad was very supportive, but have you ever encountered any barrier?
Well, basically from family, no.
Okay.
But from the society, yes.
How so?
It's always believed that artists are just there. There is no strong flavor or flair in our society, Nigeria for one. And people just feel artists are just there. They don't really understand the place of art in the society. They really don't understand the pivotal place that arts should take in the society. From Bible days, God himself had to look for a Bezalel. God had to look for Oholiab, people that he could say, this is your special skills. This is what you are cut out to do. They are ministers in their own rights to build the tabernacle. And that is actually the sweetest and the best of creativity from Bible days. God started with creativity. And of course, it's been bequeathed to several more people across the globe. I am privileged and thankful to be one of them across the globe. But I think the way society have fought the arts sometimes, especially the visual arts, they just, it's just to draw, but it's far beyond that. It's far beyond that.
I mean, I've seen your artwork, your paintings, and it's something I must say, you do a lot of landscapes.
Sure.
And tranquil landscapes. Tell me, I am not someone who can scribble even a stick. It's very difficult for me. Do you think it's something that I can learn?
Yes, of course you can learn. It's all about the mindset. The mindset. What you think about it. It's very possible. The mind is a powerful and a potent tool given to us by God. And there is no way we can break away from that. Anybody can learn the visual arts. Anybody can learn the visual arts. Of course, from sitting from here, I can see you writing. You are scribbling letters. And that is art. That is calligraphy. That is putting together forms and symbols that someone can read and can take notation of. Of course, it simply means you can do the art because you are putting together symbols. If you write U using the letters Y, O, U, and of course, it's being read as universal English symbols, and someone can pick it and say, there is something creative about this. But there's a way you write your U that is different from the same way I will spell the words U when I write. Using calligraphy. So all of this is art, is all creativity.
You know what I'm thinking?
Yes, please.
I've seen those videos where people sort of make fun of modern art, where someone would just take some paint and just do like this on the canvas, and then they say it's selling for $1 million. Yeah, right. And it's sort of a way to tease the modern art to say, these days you don't have to put in much effort again, and everything is art. Is everything art really? Can I just make a living just doing anything and call it art?
Well, there is this part which has been an argument for almost ages now, right from the Stone Age till now. So you can't just say anything is art. Art has principles and elements guiding its production. Of course, it's when you understand the nuances in art that you can now go ahead to say, well, I can now create about anything and then give it any title I want to and say this is art.
Yes.
But of course, if you don't understand the depth of it, because truth be told, I could actually take some people on some creative journeys and say this truly is not art. Creative in its own way and sphere and flavor given to it. But when you look at the depth of professionalism, some things will still need some recalibration and some things will still need some realignment to make it truly what it is.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts.
Do you believe art can heal a person, just as medicine would?
Art can heal deeply too. And when we're talking about that, what we should know is that medicine basically is like saying you are dealing with the hardware. You are dealing with the human form. You are dealing with blood, bones. You are dealing with tissues and others. Okay? And you have various things to transport you to create all of that. Meanwhile, with art, you are dealing with the software, the core of the matter, the soul of it, the intrigues that are, created from the whole of all of these things. So art can heal in the sense that it can reach deep to the emotion. It can reach deep to beyond where medicine can get to.
Yeah.
And I can say currently I'm doing a program. I'm currently doing my sabbatical and I'm working with people that are clients that, of course, are trying to overcome drug abuse in a rehab and the likes.
Really?
And what I do is art therapy.
Wow.
And the therapy is just to reach them beyond where medicine will now reach. Get deeply to them somewhere. And through the creative circle, you just know that, wow, there is a change in this person from the first time the person was committed to the rehab till the moment the person is leaving. You see a drastic change because when the person creates, someone with some form of disorders, you notice that there's some form of derangement in the creative process of the person. But of course, as the person is getting calmer and getting better healed, you will see a transition in the works. So art can reach deeply to the soul. And people can connect deeply with it. Irrespective of what people think. So even in modern medicine, the introduction of art therapists to complete a cycle of healing is actually part of the whole thing. How are hospitals built, the kind of colors that are introduced to some certain words, and all of this is all part of the healing. It's therapeutic and it's a process.
I've never seen it that way.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're knowing now.
I mean, I think about 11 years ago, I was in South Africa and I was in a classroom where an art therapist came. I thought it was just like one of those lazy people who don't know what they're doing. They just create something called art therapy and they're just eating money, right? Yeah, so she gave us a pen and paper and asked us to draw a thorn bush. Each person will draw a thorn bush.
Yes.
And we drew. And I'm not kidding. She will look at your drawing and diagnose your problem. And she was spot on. How does that happen?
Yeah, it's through training. For those that are biblical scholars, they say strong meat is for those who by reason of use have their senses exercised thereby to discern between good and evil. Now, what you have exercised yourself on over time, take for instance the visual arts, you will know, and through psychological training, that this is what this person is passing through at this moment.
Wow.
Take, for instance, the use of lines. Someone who is a very definite person, who is outspoken, someone who is audacious in their outlook, ask the person to draw a straight line. You see the line straight, firm, unshaken, and very, very correct. You could actually pick a ruler and it will give you a perfect straight line.
Wow.
But someone who is timid, someone who is fearful, someone who is passing through some things, the lines will never be straight. You have schismatic kind of lines. You have some form of lines that are zigzag in nature. It simply means that there's something that is disturbing this person. There's something that this person is passing through. This person is not a definite kind of person. This person. So even in our drawing classes, when we deal with students, regular students in the university, I lecture in the University of Jos, the Department of Fine and Applied Arts. You will notice that from seeing drawings, we can almost tell some of the students, you didn't make your bed this morning before coming to school.
Oh my goodness.
And if they want to take us on, we can actually walk to their hostel, and it will shock you to know that they live in very disorganized corners.
Wow.
They are very, very positive. And you can almost tell from some students, those that their designs are very clear, well organized. You could tell that even in life, they will be organized almost all through. And that is what it is.
Wow.
Yes.
So could this also be diagnosed in children?
With children, yes.
Yeah.
Of course, there are some children that you know that these are exceptionally hyperactive children.
Yeah.
And then there are those that are on the slow and the quiet side. However, irrespective of their learnings, through their arts, you could actually pick up some things very quickly and very easily.
Yeah.
I do some form of, like sometimes last month, if I'm not mistaken, we had this class with Sunday school in my church, and I just asked them to create. They have colors. I just say, breathe art. And you notice that some of them, they were very careful in what they were doing. Some others just created. They just expressed themselves.
Yeah.
While it is fun for them creating and expressing themselves in their various ways, as a therapist and as an expert, I was actually researching and checking other things from what they are doing. And then, of course, that's just what it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
That sounds so like fun.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Usually I say study, enjoy fun, and then, of course, get to the roots of whatsoever research you are trying to do.
Yeah.
Make it as fluid as possible.
Yeah.
And then, of course, study so many things that you want to study.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
I mean, you're making art more spiritual than physical now, thinking about it.
Yeah.
Right? So, in that line, what is the purpose of art? Can art be used solely for the purpose of making money?
Art is not just for the purpose of making money. Money will just come as by the side from practice, from what you enjoy. Art has what we call didactic functions. Functions, yes. Right. You can use it as a spiritual guide to reach out, to tell stories, to encourage, to uplift people. When people see very lovely colors, it has a way of creating some soothing effects to them. They just find some form of therapy, viewing an artwork. It will shock you to know that sometimes some people just walk into a gallery the same way you might give some people, maybe they've been in the city for long and then they're having this fog of the concrete jungle they are in. Send them into a landscape, send them into a little forested area. Let them listen to the birds. Let them listen to the quiet of nature.
Yeah.
Of course, they'll come out better people. So arts beyond the monetary form, which I feel sometimes is an offshoot of it. The first thing is create healing through the arts. As you sit, you tell stories through the arts. As you create your art, of course, you are reaching out to people in very deep forms.
Yeah.
Depending on the genre of art that you are trying to practice,
Yeah.
or, whether it is figurative or abstraction, or you're using landscape, which is a genre which I enjoy a lot
Yeah.
in creating, all of these are some of the things that you get to see when you are creating art. So beyond the creative process, every moment I sit in front of my easel, it's like a conversation with a greater power, and that is God. Yeah, there's something deep about it. And you leave that place refreshed. You leave that place, you've had time to communicate deep calleth unto deep, and you just leave that place refreshed. You leave that place a better person.
Yeah.
And of course, with works that you pour in a lot of deep thoughts, the financial part will come afterwards, because your art will almost always resonate with someone out there.
That's right.
Once they get to see it.
No matter how bad it is.
No matter what the kind of art is.
Yeah.
Like now in therapy, there is no bad art. Every art is a story of its own.
Yeah.
So I judge it that way.
Yeah.
But for me as a professional, there are other things I do and put in consideration before I create a work. Art is basically a universal language and speaks deep connectedness beyond what we can see in the physical. That is art.
That's so strong.
Yeah.
Tell me, are there deep wounds in society today that art can help us unlock and heal?
Yeah, there are several ones in the society. The Jos Plateau, for one, where I am currently residing, we've had our fair share of crisis.
Yeah.
And of course, we have been affected in one way or the other. And I've had the joy of participating in some programs through the visual arts to get communities together. Artwork is being created, discussed through art, and see how they connect through art.
Yeah.
Now, such societal things is just to bring healing. Take, for instance, if you bring people from two divides and ask them, let's create this work together. What do you think about this person? The person will create their art, and I will create what I think about the other person. And then we bring our shared stories.
Yeah.
What binds us together is our humanity. And humanity, merging it with art, telling deep stories, discussing in forum and various fora. Of course, it will just tell you that, one, it is very possible for us to heal through the visual arts. If we have seen a work created by Banksy somewhere in Jerusalem, and all he did was to create a man with a Molotov cocktail, and instead of the man carrying a bomb to throw, he just dressed someone in a full riot gear, wearing his face masked, of course, going out for riots and to fight. Instead of throwing the Molotov cocktail, which of course is a bomb, across to the other people, all he did was he put a bouquet of flower in the creative work he did, that the man was about to haul across a bouquet of flower. Of course, anybody reading that piece of mural on the wall will just see, instead of us throwing bombs at each other, let's throw love. Let's create bouquets of flowers. Let's heal. Let's mend. Let's change the narrative. And it can be done better through the visual arts, which people can see and relate with. It will shock you to know that we start understanding the visuals first, even before we start penning down things or before we even start speaking. So visuals are very, very strong in the healing process, the visual arts of painting, sculpture, photography, talking about ceramics, graphic designs, and several other art forms that there are.
That's a very creative thing with what the artists in Jerusalem did, right? And let's talk about creativity, right? A lot of people suppress creativity, either directly doing it to themselves because they think of other goals, or other people killing their creativity. What do you think happens when someone suppresses creativity for too long?
When you keep suppressing your creativity, you implode. I feel so. You just burst inwards.
Yeah.
And it might not be recoverable sometimes because you just kept it in there. However, I feel that for different people at different times, whether those trained as artists, as therapists, or otherwise,
Yeah.
everybody has some creative instinct placed in them by God. You wake up every morning, you think of what you're going to put on, the kind of shoe to match, the kind of jackets to use, or what is your trademark, and so on and so forth. That's creativity.
Yeah.
How you drink your water is also a creative way. Why some people want to goggle down their water with so much noise, and some other person will like it soft, smooth, and quiet. So the creative thing is that once it is bottled in for a long time, it has a way also of affecting you. It has a negative repercussion.
Yeah.
So I always say people should find way of expressing themselves.
Mm.
And the visual art of various artists within Plateau State and across the globe, they have created what we call the sip and paint, just to get people, non-professionals, just come, express yourself, have a time of bonding, socializing, discussing, having fun, and creating lots of things. So all of these are possible. So people should not suppress it. Let it speak forth. And I would like to say this, that there are some people that their destiny path is through a creative thought that is placed in the inside of them. Take, for instance, you are doing the yellow mic, this podcast. It's something that has been locked up in the inside of you for a long time.
Yes.
God probably prepared you over time for you to bring this forth. And several people are beneficiaries from this now. You're putting in a lot of creative thoughts. You're putting in lots of equipment. Beyond the equipment and things you're putting into it, the creative preparation of your timeline of how things should happen per time is the difference you are making to the world. So that is also a creative spirit which is breaking forth and giving expression to the world.
But what is it about images, right, that bypasses logic and speaks directly to the soul?
Images are deep. Images can speak of peace. Images can speak of conflict.
Yeah.
And images, there is just no way of explaining it. There is this scripture, there is a spirit in man, the inspiration of the Almighty giveth them understanding, somewhere in Job. And the thing with images is that it sticks so fast that you cannot erase it in a hurry. And that is because God made it that way. Same way with various human functions that God has placed there. The same thing also with images. It can be so deep, so potent, and so powerful. I use a simple example. When Pablo Picasso created the painting Guernica some years ago about the devastation of war, how his town was overrun by war and merchants of war. The pains, the gory sight, the killing of children, the ripping of the stomachs of women and babies and other things, very gory, very painful, the shattering of buildings, the sounds of bombs, bullet shells everywhere, and all of such pains. The thing is that he created this image as his memory of the war and the period of that war. And today, that work is currently in the UN, United Nations.
Yeah.
And when they wanted to create war, to declare war against Iraq, they had to veil that painting because the memory is so strong.
Yeah.
And the visuals are so strong that this is a testament against them. on what they were about to do. Images are very potent. Images are very strong things. They last, they linger, it remains over time. You can't erase it in a hurry. Yes. That's because God has created it such that if that software is created, it is such that by default, it sticks and it stays there. Except you do some kind of mind wiping and you want to make someone a zombie or something before you can get away some images.
I agree, because there's this test I do sometimes when I am in a speaking engagement and I want to grab the audience attention. I usually contrast between words and images. So what I do is I say, everybody look at me and do what I say, right? But I can be tapping my shoulder and I'll be saying, touch your elbow. And you will see everybody, even professors, touching their shoulder
instead
not
of the elbow.
Right? And then maybe you can keep going for like sometimes up to a minute and they won't figure it out until maybe someone discovers that there's something wrong here, but it's already too late.
Yes.
What are some of the most amazing experiences you've had with people coming in? I've been to your gallery, very beautiful gallery, and thank you for putting up that exhibition, the yearly exhibition. And I think it goes all year round. Right? A few people maybe might make purchases of your work, but a lot of people come in and they just gaze and leave. What are some of the most amazing stories, experiences you want to share that your work have had an effect on the lives and perspective of people?
Okay, thank you very much. Basically, people come into my space and I always keep a notepad for people to write down their thoughts on what they see in my exhibition. I just had the last version, the 9th edition. It's still the longest running solo exhibition on the Jos Plateau. Anybody can check and research that. This year I'll be having the 10th, a decade of practice of exhibition through my art. And the lovely thing about it is that people say, I came into your space, I was relatively troubled, and I could experience peace and quiet and serenity and solitude. It's a game changer for me.
That's priceless.
Yes, it's priceless. Not that they're going to buy the piece, no. But the fact that this affected them in a new way, it's something great to me. Some others could be that some people say, for the first time I came into an exhibition, because for every year I get to get new people coming to this space. People that are getting to hear of the exhibition newly, and they'll just come around, say, I had good time to bond with people, to talk, to socialize. One of the things that can add longevity to human lives is your ability to connect well socially with people too.
Wow.
And the exhibition, the visual art, has created room for that severally, and especially through my own exhibition, which is themed the Landscapes and More series. Landscapes is the most used form of expression that I do. The more, sometimes I just veer into other things. I'm varied in my expression. I create some form of sculptural pieces too. I do some form of recycled works too. I also do some works that are based on fabrics, just to tell the story. But for every one of them, it's just to get that story from somebody. Wow, there is something that is beautiful here. And I just feel it's just like an extension of the finger of God. After God was done creating everything, he looked at it and said, this is beautiful. This is good. And once a cycle is over, and I go back to do a review from my exhibition notes or from comments that people left behind. It's just to say, continue with this. Keep pushing these frontiers. change the narration, change the narrative within our economy, within our states, within our space. That's just it.
There's a saying that says every art has a piece of the artist in it. So can we safely say that if you consume art, you're consuming a piece of the artist who created that art?
Definitely. That is why artworks get more expensive when the artist is no longer alive. Because you can never get him again to produce that particular part of him that he did while he was on earth.
Yeah.
So every artist will always breathe his life into his creative works. I'm a man of peace. I love very peaceful things. I love very serene things.
It's very evident.
I don't like being scattered. I don't like being jostled out of my peace and things like that. So it's also reflecting in my paintings.
Absolutely.
So irrespective of how people tell me, why not paint this kind of work? It is not me. The me in the me, the deep soul in the inside of me, is everything that you breathe out.
Yeah.
Is the depth of you and your personality. The abundance of what you have is what you speak through your art. So if you are someone that is a war-prone kind of person, you use very warm, aggressive colors, often to represent whatsoever story you want to tell. But on my palette, usually you see things that are relatively tending towards what we call the serene range of the spectrum of colors.
Certain range?
Yes.
What are those ranges?
The ranges, you get the blues, you get things like the greens, you get things like the purples, the magenta ranges of colors, and things that are quiet and serene and sublime and whites. These are very sublime colors. When you are doing some form of therapy, you notice that people that are still aggressive and coming out of some mental illnesses, at the initial part, they use very warm and aggressive kind of things. That's because they are speaking from within. When you see them even do some sketches, I have someone that's just asked him to create some sketches. He will create very weird looking, what I call monstrous looking figures. But as he's getting calmer, he's beginning to relate more with probably human forms and show things that are more sane. The colors are more tamed and more relaxing. So these are some of the very key things.
I see certain patterns in teenagers today. They love dark art. Especially with the rise of Marvel movies, like some animes and stuff like that. You see them, their DPs, what they idolize, their screen gallery is filled with dark kind of art. Do you think it speaks to what they are going through, or is just art for art's sake?
Well, the basic thing is that images, we said initially, is very strong. And for most of them, from either early in life, they are introduced to such kind of images. So it has a way of forming their characteristic traits over time. So you see them using such as part of their running images, basically. But the whole thing is this, that once you change the mindset and you replace it with images that are correct and right, you begin to see that there is a constant change. It's no longer, they say every human we come with the tabula rasa, a clean slate. It's what you write on it. It's the images you form on it. It's what you place on it that will become your running principle over time. I talked about in early childhood, yes, we watched television, very special cartoon, Popeye and all the likes when we were growing up, Voltron. Yes, Voltron is still a little on that kind of modern kind of cartoons now. But the interesting thing is that we're more in nature, we're more in looking at the outdoors, looking at the skyline, forming imageries, thinking through things and processes. We read books. I read encyclopedia like nothing else, read storybooks, formed my kind of images. I could travel the world through reading. And of course, it informed my kind of art also. Yeah, characters I've loved over time, Robinson Crusoe and the likes, people that reading books about them, it will help you form some images. So when you see things happening in recent times, you just know that one is what people have been exposed to, the social media and others, that is forming the kind of images they portray and they also show forth.
Yeah. What are some of the most dangerous arts you've encountered and you think that today society is consuming that and is unhealthy and has sort of caged us in a particular place?
Well, different genre of art and different expressions. I know that there are some artists that they do a lot of nudity.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just paint nudity and nudes and other things like that. It's a training also in the art school that you learn anatomy through drawing and painting of the nudes. It's part of the training in art school. That's for professional artists.
Yeah.
However, for some people in practice that have made it, the society will also frown at nudity.
Yes.
So usually when you see some people just take it as a form of art form, well, it's their own choice. But to me as a person, I have this aversion to it as a person, as an artist.
Yeah.
And beyond that, there are also some works that are works for propaganda. Yes, they could actually create some works that you just know that what this person is trying to do is create an antithetical statement about a person, or to bring a statement to a point where people look at it and say, what is the depth of this? And somehow art can communicate somehow faster than even the text written about that particular kind of art. So there are some images that are outrightly very disturbing. And then, of course, you get to see some images that it's quite disturbing. And someone like Banksy once said that art should comfort the disturbed and disturb the comforted.
Wow.
Art should comfort the disturbed and comfort the disturbed. So when we see that, it simply means that the potency in art can be a two-edged sword.
Yeah.
It could comfort people. It could also disturb people. That's the reason why in Hitler's Germany, most of the artists within that period, they were arrested and locked up because they were creating propaganda against the war and some other things. And anybody that would tell stories that the common man can understand very quickly and it will become a problem to them, they'll lock up the person very quickly, or they kill the person or extinguish the person, as it were. And also, in medieval periods, works were created with religious themes, just to draw people's attention, to the spiritual, to draw their mindsets to something that is great and beyond them.
I mean, I've been in a room. It's a guy's room. We went to edit some videos in his room, and to my bewilderment, I saw all the artworks on his wall were nudes. Absolutely. Yeah, it unsettled me. Yeah. But beyond that, why do you think art unsettles some people even when they cannot explain it?
There is something very deep about the arts. And the moment you see the imageries, it's either an experience you have passed through before, an experience you understand before, and the moment you see something that you have either seen before, take for instance, if you see a woman as a male, we are always attracted to what we see, especially to the female or the feminine gender. And the moment you see something unclad, as it were, the first thing that comes to your mind is it's driving a message, and very quickly too. Is it that you want me to think sexually?
Yeah.
You want me to think in the negative? Or what is it that is the story that you want to pass across? So there is that thing that is just there. It's just a very quick spark. The moment you see an imagery, it has sent 1,000. They say a picture will speak 1,000 words. We speak more than 1,000 words.
Yeah.
So just a picture. And the text from it can just be endless. We've seen the Mona Lisa. People have written volumes about it over the centuries. And people are still writing about it, about the painting, and they are still picking newer imageries, newer thoughts, newer actions, or new actions from what has been created.
You earlier talked about pain, trauma, and all of that. When we talk about trauma, we often look at the individual. But today we have communities going through trauma.
Yeah.
The question is, can a community carry trauma the same way an individual will? And if so, can art collectively bring about the healing of a community, even though the individuals differ?
Art can bring about healing of a community. I talked about a project I was part of some years back on the Jos Plateau, the Zarmaganda Road project.
Okay.
And of course, it's community-based. And outside that project, there is also this one that what they ask the people to do as a form of closure is pick the clothing, a piece of a clothing, any material used by any of your family member that's passed through crisis, that was killed or things like that, bring it together and let's create what they call the one fabric. Now, the project is such that the moment you get to see these things, you have memories of all of such people that have passed on. You can relate with it directly, but the whole essence of it is get people to come out and find some form of putting together things from people that have passed on in a community. Or sometimes they could commission an artist, tell their stories. He will take notation and then create some form of community art, with which basically everybody should relate with, just to tell the story within that community. And sometimes it could bring its own healing to that community. The healing process is not a one-day thing. It's a journey. It could come through several forms. Art could just be one of many. It's just that usually art is something that people can look at it and say very quickly, can relate with this. We see this as a standing symbol over this whole discussion. And when you go to several countries, at some certain quarters, you see murals across their walls, you see flowers, you see storylines, just to tell the story to that community. I talked about Guernica earlier on, created by Pablo Picasso, which is, of course, a very strong and a potent work. And then, of course, someone like Carl, who created what we call the knotted gun. The knotted gun is a pistol, a Colt gun, which was folded upwards. The nozzle was folded upwards. It simply means that you cannot shoot through and the bullet will go out. Okay? The whole essence of it is that, and it's been replicated by the United Nations across continents. The whole story is that communities around, the story is stop the wars. Let's not shoot through this barrel. Let it not bring trouble to us again. Let's change the narration. Let's change the narrative. And doing that has really helped communities. It's a process over time. People have gone through research that they'll come to a community. I did a couple on the Jos Plateau. Just come ask some questions, meet with some community leaders, some youth leaders, and get to talk with them. And the process of ventilating, discussing, talking, even before the creative process is actually healing. It's communal in nature, but it's also healing and it's very therapeutic.
I like this ventilating.
Yes.
Can you share more on this ventilating, like allowing people to breathe? Because when you say ventilating, it's like taking a break from a very tensed situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's this part of art I do. I call it breathe the art. And all you do is bring colors probably to a table and just sprinkle various colors that are liquidized, and then give different people straws to breathe onto the colors with some form of force, and then they'll be having splashes of colors. Okay? And then the colors will be interacting one with another, and then we can tell a story from it. Now, the moment you breathe out, it's like ventilating. You are giving off carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
And it opens up your lungs. It gives you more room to breathe in fresh air, oxygen. Okay? And then the whole thing is that as you are doing that, you are breathing in, you are breathing out, you are creating works, you are merging stories, you are telling different, very interesting expression. The whole idea of it is as simple as saying, we could ventilate.
Yeah.
We could breathe out our hate. We could breathe out our pains. We could breathe out things that are intoxicating to us, and then breathe in something that is fresh, something that is alive, and see something that is building, a new community that is building. And I dare say that all such works created, the best of artists on earth cannot replicate such once it is created, because every pattern is unique.
Wow.
Every breath is unique. Every new splash is unique. And once it is created, you see a beautiful art piece at the end of the whole day. So the whole thing is, once we really have time to breathe as a community through art-based projects, discussions, mending bridges, we can come up with a new masterpiece that is unique for everybody to see. And then, of course, when you come, I cannot tell this is from Kongs. This splash is from Kongs. This one is from this person. This one is from this person. Because everything has fused into each other to show some unique patterns and exhilarating beauty that you cannot comprehend.
Yeah, that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why do you think conflict and chaos and crisis birth more art than peace?
Humans will always respond in different ways. Chaotic situations will make people to think and to reevaluate. And for peace to be lasting and interesting, there must be some form of discordant notes at some certain points in order to bring good, lasting peace. I so feel, I so think.
Yeah.
I did my research on peace and conflict resolution through the visual arts. That's what I did for my PhD.
That's very niche down.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what I did for my PhD. And you'll notice that works that were created in times of peace are quite different from works that are created in times of war. And everyone with its own unique paradigm of discussion. And the thing is this, that when people create out of pain, the imageries are more lasting. And it helps to serve as checks and balances for you not to get to that same spot you passed through sometimes back.
Now, and I'm talking generally, right? Whether it's music through art through music, or storytelling, or visual arts, or any kind of art form, right? You mentioned earlier, art has been used as propaganda, as art has been used for liberating communities and so on and so forth. Yeah, therapy.
And so forth.
Yeah. Do you think everybody is an artist? If so, how can they unlock the artist in them?
Pablo Picasso will say, every child is born as an artist.
Every child.
Every child is born as an artist. but it will take a great effort to remain one.
Wow.
Yes. So for those of us that are artists, it took us great efforts to remain artists.
Yeah.
Because after some time, some people it just fizzles out.
Yeah.
You just lose it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And art is much more difficult than science, because science is fixed. Its principles is constants. You know exactly what to do on the surgical operating table. Maybe just few nuances here and there. But an artist shows up and you have no idea what he's going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the thing is this, that while the arts, of course, when we're talking of the arts, maybe I should make this clarification. With the arts, of course, we use it as a generic term for both the performative and then the visual arts.
Yeah.
I deal more with the visual arts.
Yeah.
But in all of this, the binding line between is that creative formation within it. So even in the sciences, for doctors that are very creative and have built creativity over time, they always create their surgeries with a difference.
I agree.
Yes, they will create their surgeries with a difference because there's something that is just there they want to bring into place.
Yeah.
When you see plastic surgeons and others, and you see them create, wow, it's just something else. They are just, I call it the extension of the fingers of God, because they can come up with something extremely different from what it used to be before. But for the artist, the fluidity of creation, the fecundity of bringing forth things is actually what is the setting mark for them as artists.
Yeah.
They can bring thoughts alive. You could actually be talking to me about some issues. I'll just be taking mental notes. And before you know it, I'm creating something to tell your story. And that's why some people will see some pieces and they'll say, no matter what this will cost, in an auction, for instance, I'm going to pay for this work because it is relatable. I can see a part of me in this piece. I can see something I can relate with. That's the soul part I was talking about earlier on. So art has its own fluidity and people enjoy it that way.
Yeah. In your experience, talking about people seeing themselves in an art, in your experience now, how do people react when they see their pain represented visually?
Okay, pains. It might come in different way, but maybe let me just talk about environmental issues.
Yeah.
The last exhibition in December, someone walked into the exhibition space and saw a painting I did. It's actually an imaginative landscape painting. And she just screamed, "This is my village exactly."
Wow.
Say, "Can you see how this undulating part?" I could see. Wow. She actually bought that piece. That is because she felt this is the husband's village. She said, "My village," of course, she's married.
Yeah.
But this is Bachi, somewhere in Riom local government area. But I created that piece.
And you've never been there?
I've been there once, yes.
Okay.
I visited that village. But in creating that work, I was actually not thinking of that village. I just created as one of my landscapes. So the thing is this, the same thing when you create a crying baby, or you create, take for instance, a girl that is probably looking a little clad, probably raped or something like that, and maybe crying, and you're probably trying to tell a story about issues of rape in the society. A girl that has passed through such traumatic situation, raped before, the moment she comes before that piece, you could just see a sudden jolt. There's that standstill. There is that replay of memory. So, that's the part where art gets disturbing. Okay? But if such a person has met with a counselor that has helped her through such a process, and probably you painted someone hugging a female and saying it's all right, or telling a story of healing through that particular painting, such a person encountering such painting at a different exhibition or at a different space, we find that complete healing because the person can relate with it. I needed a shoulder to cry on. I found one. And this painting is saying exactly the same story. And I've seen artists that create such works that people will just come there, spend several hours, and that's the reason why one of the furniture you see in most exhibition halls, standard exhibition hall, is to see a sitting bench where people could sit and contemplatively look at a work and study it carefully. And then read several things from the piece. Because there's just so much to read in them. It's beyond the colors. It's beyond the forms. It's beyond the lines. There is something that is deep there.
Why do you think people are more honest in front of an art exhibition or when they see something that resonates with them? Because it's very rare to hear that someone is lying about what he or she experiences or feels about an artwork. And do you think that sort of honesty can be a way to uncover and unravel certain mysteries about life and communal living?
The thing is that the more you study the human behavioral patterns, the better we become in shifting things. Okay? Sometimes I've seen some images, very funny. You just see a sculpture in a park also. Maybe someone sitting down with the hand, across a park chair. And then someone who needs a shoulder to lean on, just come and sit in between, stay in between the hand. That's the thought of the artist. So the person will just lean against the sculpture to find that peace of rest. So people are very truthful when they come to the presence of art. And you also see a baby sometimes, see a woman's, a female sculpture, there's one putting out the breasts, to breastfeed. And you see the child coming with the mouth open as if he wants to suck the breast and things like that. So these are very simple illustrations, just to say, in front of an art piece. It's like an open book to you, to just read it, to just see what is there, to just understand that this is me at my elements.
I had a very deep connection and experience with a work of art created by the master artist himself. And that's the one behind you, this picture behind you.
Wow.
Riam Rock.
Wow.
I took a journey to Riom, I think about 3 times before I was able to take this photo.
Wow.
I didn't the first time. Oh no, I took the first time, but I wasn't convinced. So I went the second time. I didn't take. I just stood in front of this rock. And I couldn't help but notice a presence, a very magnificent, strong presence, right? So I was sort of wondering, how do I capture this in a way that anyone who sees it will go, wow, right? So until I came up with the idea of bracketing, using bracketing as a means to really capture it with all vividness and to sort of pop up the presence, because there is no picture that can explain the feeling. You just have to be there to feel. And I feel like maybe some people might not feel what I felt when I stood before this rock and I took this rock. And I took it for a competition organized by the ambassador of the United States to Nigeria, Stuart Symington, back in 2018. And undoubtedly, the picture won the competition, right? So when I went for the award ceremony, one of the persons at the embassy walked up to me and said, we put together 7 judges to judge which picture comes first, and all of them voted your picture unopposed. for me, it was just a privilege of conveying that feeling through a camera, right? But ultimately, I knew from the beginning that there was a spirit that went with that picture. And then when it went out, it excelled, right? When you were talking about, people's experiences and feeling in front of great art, I couldn't help but remember what I felt that day,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I have this monologue I do sometimes. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth,
Yeah.
right? The earth was without form and it was
Void,
empty.
yeah.
Yeah, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the deep, right? And God said, let
Let there be light.
Yeah, let there be light, and there was light. And then He separated the land from the water after creating the land, and He created the mountains, He created the animals, He created the trees, the birds, the fishes, aquatic life, and everything. Then He created man in His image, right? And He said, rule over this, take dominion, take charge. Then God looked at everything He created and said, this is beautiful. And then God said, let us create someone who will document this, someone who will make this into a visual representation and distribute it across the world. Then God created the artist. Yeah.
And that is man.
Yeah, that is right. Yeah. I mean, hearing you speak and connecting art with faith and seeing the creator through art, because if you say every child is born an artist, then it means that most of us are not nearly exhibiting that potential gifts that is in us.
Yeah. There is just so much. I would like to probably generalize to say the creative sphere or paradigm can actually cut across so many things and so many fields. Beyond people that show forth works in visual parlance,
Yeah.
or people that show forth creativity through the performative arts, it's important for us to know that whatever thing you find doing, add a creative flavor to it. I have veered into other fields too, outside the visual arts. Agriculture is something I love. I just like to see natural forms. For whichever one I am doing, it's surprising that people were doing that before I probably started. But every time I take up a new venture, there is something creative about it.
Yeah.
And people will ask, how did you achieve this? How did you get that? It's just the creative spirit. So there is just so much in it. So if God has put that in us, we just need to be thankful and to keep expressing it. But everyone can create. Everyone can show forth creativity. Every space can be transformed. Every space can become therapeutic.
Yeah.
So long as we put together all it takes to do that.
Art is a key fabric of society. They don't often find that appreciation in most societies, especially in African societies. Artists are usually considered lazy people, or sometimes people who don't want to work or do real work, because in our society today, life or the quality of life is judged by how much money you make. There are artists who have found fortune in their art and have been blessed with financial value.
Yeah.
There are some whose work performed best when they were no more. And there were some whose artwork was discovered decades later after they have maybe retired. And that's when they found appreciation. There are people who never found any appreciation through their arts. Tell me, what responsibility do artists bear in a nation, especially in moments of chaos?
The place of an artist is that of a strong advocate to tell the story exactly the way it is, devoid of personal emotion, thinking, or whatever it is to bring forth the true story. Art is the mirror of the society. Deep-seated art is the story that the society should always hear. And that's the place of the artist, telling the story exactly the way it is.
Yeah.
I gave an initial discussion on Pablo Picasso, on the creation of Guernica, and of course the analysis of the work and how it was created. And several other people are still creating works that is just giving a mirror of the society.
Yeah.
There is this Jegede that used to create cartoons before in Nigeria. Very witty fellow. But the thing is that every society, political happening within the society, he'll just bring it out in part of his column. He's a columnist. Just through cartoons. And people will see it and laugh their heads off.
Yeah.
But the thing is that the message is passed.
Yeah.
The story is there.
Yeah.
Today we can see young artists doing lots of animation, creating lots of story. And there's this one we laughed to, myself and my wife, some days ago. We saw the governor of Plateau State as a baby, this kind of baby kind of art and animation, dancing joyously and everything in front of one of the metro buses.
Yeah.
Of course, that symbolism is something that you can never throw away. He's done something great on the plateau, yes. And then, of course, people can rejoice.
Yeah.
And relatable, even children can say it, that we're enjoying something. So the thing is this, that the place of the artist is to mirror the society, either through conflict imageries, peace imageries, deep-seated imageries, or whatsoever kind of image or genre of expression the artist might choose to use just to tell the story. Yeah. And that's the place of the artist. Nothing can take the artist from that. Money will come afterwards, yes. But the truth of it is that every artist that is truly an artist, there are people that can say these are illustrators, and there are people that can say these are artists, because they have not sold out their soul to anybody. They just express the society the true way it is.
If everyone is an artist, what question do you think every human being must ask themselves at least once in a lifetime?
How can I make the earth better?
How can I make the earth better?
Yes. How can I change the narrative? How can I make things, people to see deeply the way I see? People say artists are very quiet and reserved people. Yes, because they think exceptionally deeply. We all probably might be watching football. The artist is seeing something beyond just the match that is ongoing. His mind is so deep. He's thinking beyond what you see in aesthetics. It's not just aesthetics. There are several other things. And how can I make it better? If I give a voice through my creative instinct, through my creative works, will it change my world? Will it make my world better? My initial landscapes, for instance, I created it on purpose. A bulk of my landscapes were painted without the human figure. And people were asked, why are there no human figures in this landscape? And I'll tell them, be the figure in the landscape. And the reason being that if you love this landscape, fine, puritanical, clean, looking very well arranged, everything in its place, as created by God, don't spoil this space.
Yeah.
Rather, tend this space to get this space better. That would be the statement.
Wow. That's powerful. Yeah. Yes. Immerse yourself into the art.
Immerse yourself in it. Be the person in the scape.
Yeah. Dr. Onoja, there's someone out there who is watching right now, who is finding it difficult to express themselves in art form, probably because they don't get support from their family or their community has written them off, or they've lost self-esteem because people insulted them or laughed at their art. What can you say to that person?
Just start. Just start somewhere. Be encouraged. Build up strength and resilience to start somewhere. When everybody thought of stoning David because the best of their livelihood, their children, everything they had was carted away by the enemies, there was this statement made, and David encouraged himself in the Lord. You need to come to that place where you can encourage yourself and say, this thing I can push on, I can change, I can get to that place, that peak I desire in this creative field, whatever it is. I'm just using the visual art as a platform, as a model. I'll give two stories very quickly. I have this young man who is the winner of the 2024 Life in My City Art Festival. Life in My City Art Festival is a visual arts festival that is once in a year in Enugu, Nigeria, for all the visual artists across Nigeria. They can participate. Even artists in the diaspora can participate. So long as you are under the age of 30, you can participate. He had the first entry in Abuja. Then we're not having a center in Jos. He had the first entry in Abuja. He went for the finals because they will pick the best 100 across Nigeria to participate in the grand finale. I'm happy you talked about a competition earlier with this piece that is at the background. And of course, he was part of them. The work went to the show. He didn't get any prize, but he was part of the 100. So that was a good, but it's because he exerted himself to say, I will move from Jos, go to Abuja, compete, and then move on. In 2024, we started the Life in My City Art Festival on the Jos Plateau. I started it because I served as national jury a year before that. And the moment they started, he put in an entry again in Jos. Surprisingly, his works, he had a set of works which he called the Eighth Wonder. That's the theme of his work. His work was picked among the 9 artists from the Jos Plateau because every state is given a quota to make up the 100 across the region in Nigeria. His work was picked, went for the grand finale in Enugu in October 2024. Surprisingly, that was his entry, the first entry from Jos when Jos started, and that was the national winner for 2024.
Wow.
If he had not taken that move to keep being persistent in his creative endeavors, he wouldn't have reached that. He's offhand. He's just a young man. His parents are no more, but he's pushing his weight in the field of the visual arts. And this came forth. Last year, he also participated in another competition on the plateau, Enchanting Plateau. And the surprising thing is that he was the category winner in painting. So there's always that place of pushing forward. The second story will be this. There is this old man, Ben Lieutenant Duamlong, and he's currently over 73. He came into the university when he was about either 67 years old or thereabouts.
What?
To study the visual arts. And the thing is, he was one-time coach of the national team, the the Super Eagles, I beg your pardon.
Wow.
So many people would have forgotten him, but after he retired from coaching, he just thought, I should do something. He said he loves drawing. And of course, he came into the university. He was looking for admission. He got the admission, and then he started. It will surprise you to know that as old as the man is, he's still alive. He's been holding exhibition on the plateau. As old as he is, he will do all his assignments. He will be in the studio working. Very resilient fellow, and he graduated with almost a first class. He had a CGPA of well over 4 point something, close to a first class. He graduated at 69 there too.
Wow.
He's well over 70 now because he left the university some 2 years or 3 years back or so. But the thing is this, if you believe in something, you make a push, you leave your comfort zone. This is a man that is, of course, we want to say an elderly personality. He is one. And of course, beyond that, he has had his second solo exhibition on the plateau now. He had one last year, and it was well attended by different people.
Wow.
And he's creating his peculiar kind of work. He's expressing himself. He's having joy. He's finding fulfillment in his retirement. So you could see that I just gave this story of two spectrum, from a very young person who is currently in 200 level now to someone by age who is well over 70 years of age. And they just thought, I can do this thing. I can change what I am doing now. I can express myself better through the visual arts. And there they are. So there are so many other success stories we could go on and talk about, not just the males, but also the females. I have a young female now currently in 200 level. She wants to enter for this competition, try her hands in this, play with this, try that, one Hannah Chundusu, and she's doing just exceptionally well. I just look forward to seeing her tomorrow in her practice, because I know that with the encouragement she's giving to herself, she's going to go farther than all our other colleagues that are just laid back and not doing anything. So people can change. People can do well. People can create. If it's not in the visual art, whatsoever thing you think of doing, start somewhere. Start small. Start surely. Keep moving. Keep grinding. Keep upscaling. Before you know it, you'll be the next person to be celebrated.
Tell me about the career path in art, visual arts in Nigeria. Is it big? Is it something that is growing bigger than it used to be? And how do you guys protect yourselves from piracy and all of that?
The Nigerian art space is growing and growing well. We've had series of exhibitions in various galleries. Well, sometimes we can pin on the map some particular places that we know that art is really happening in the Nigerian space. Take, for instance, Lagos. Yeah. Over time, they've had that because of their contacts to several agencies that come in looking for talents and so on and so forth. And in Lagos, we have what we call the Art X currently, which is a big event across West Africa and globally that various galleries across the globe can always come to exhibit works. And the same way we hear of places like the Sotheby's outside the country and other art auction houses, Nigeria is changing very fast. And art understanding is building greatly. People are collecting work. We're having better connoisseurs of the arts. Yeah. And various people, it's changing. When you get to Abuja, same thing is also happening currently in Abuja space. Several people are getting to collect art. Several galleries are springing up. New artists are being discovered. Greater talents are being built. We are having art representation across Nigeria. People like Sokari, people like Briggs, people like Akunyili. These are Nigerians, young Nigerians, that of course their art pieces are selling in very, very interesting amounts of money across Nigeria. But of course they had good foundations and other things. So the thing with art is that when you tell your deep story through the resilient path you have passed through while in the country, even if you find yourself in other shows, that initial building will always help you do better, in other climes. But the Nigerian art scene is changing. Jos Plateau is building. Several people are pinning the art story on the Jos Plateau and also globally. I've had opportunity to exhibit my works, not just on the Jos Plateau. As I said, this year I'll be having the 10th version. Is a decade of doing my solo exhibition and doing exhibition on the plateau. And then several other people. We have other galleries like Ecstasy. We have and the Shonibare Gallery and several other galleries on the Jos Plateau where I currently reside. And all of this, the whole story is that art is gaining acclaim amongst people. People are getting to love the visual arts and people are getting to see it in a new direction. Because that's actually the new gold. People should know that. People should start collecting art from people that are upcoming. Because in no distant time, in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, you'll be shocked that a work you picked at certain amount has doubled its amount or tripled sometimes because of its popularity amongst people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. How do you deal with piracy?
Dealing with piracy, well, our Nigerian laws are very clear, copyright laws and others. And usually we'll say artists should create what is called a certificate of authenticity. So that once you know that your work is authentic to you, it's your creative ingenuity. And nobody should take it without your permission and use it for something else, without your express permission to use such. I feel there are property laws and copyright laws that are applicable to all such things. But again, so many artists are not educated on this. They don't know about such issues. So they just, once their works are sold, it's just one of those things, people are just using my works. And then sometimes when you look at it from the other flip side of it is to say, at least I'm getting some form of popularity that people are using my work that I have created to either do an advert or things like that. But when you look at it deeply in terms of the laws governing the creation of your work, your creative property, then whoever is using it without your permission is not doing well. And I think the law should apply and apply favorably to the artist so that others will see it through such education and such cases that, so I can actually do this. And people will get to respect my creative works in the space that is being put out to.
Yeah. Dr. Onoja, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For this precious time you've given to us. And you have really, really inspired something in me. I really can't wait to just start scribbling something.
Great.
And just to put out the creativity God has put in me.
Wow.
Yes. This is an episode that has really taken the direction I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
Yes. It's so inspiring to know that as an artist, I can mirror society. And that's my job. And I love it when you said the artist should ask himself, how does he make the world better? How can I leave the world better than I met it? Yes. So thank you so much for these words of wisdom, for this inspiration. So our guest today is an artist who has done lots of paintings and artworks. To celebrate his 50th birthday, he published a book called 50 Musings. This contains some of his best artworks over the years, and you can pick it up and other artworks of his through a link in the comment section. So if you're watching for the first time or you've been watching and have not subscribed, I want to invite you to subscribe to the Yellow Mic podcast. This will help us to grow bigger and serve you more. Thank you very much.